Hello and welcome to Baking on a Budget. In this video we're going to be making this simple cottage pie recipe. Cottage pie is a real classic, tasty, filling, very nutritious and very inexpensive. This comes out at about 96 pence per serving, and we have all of the materials over here which I'm going to run through one by one, tell you how much all of this costs, then we'll put the whole thing together and make a delicious cottage pie. Okay, so first of all we have 400 grams of minced beef. And this cost me £2.26. Now I bought this again in a kilo size pack. Get a little bit cheaper if you buy it in a larger quantity. We have one onion at 9 pence. We have one carrot at 5 pence. We have one stick of celery at 6 pence. We're going to put in about a third of a tin of peas, which is about 16 pence. We have quarter of a tube of tomato puree, which will cost 18 pence. We have one beef stock cube at 12 pence. We have a tablespoon of Worcester sauce at 14 pence. We have 500 grams of potato at 45 pence. We have 20 grams of butter at 15 pence. And we have 50 ml of double cream at 19 pence. Now, that whole thing is going to come out at £3.85. And we're going to get 4 substantial portions from that. Making each portion 96 pence. Right, now the first thing we're going to do is prep this veg up. Very simple, same as ever. We want to chop the onion up fairly small, or however you like it. If you like the onion a little bit more chunky, that would be okay as well. So I'm just going to take this out the skin off. Right, so we've got the onion, chop it in half, and now we just want to chop it finely like that and get that all ready for the pot. That's young Isla in the background there. She's just watching me cook today. 9 months old and learning already.
10 months.
Sorry, 10 months old and learning already. So there we have the onion. Next thing, we just want to chop this celery up. As I say, celery is a thing of choice, but I do like celery in a meat dish. I think it's a little tang to the dish. Very nice. Now, top and tail the carrot. And we'll peel that down. And again, I'm going to chop this. Oh, how shall I chop that? I'll just chop that. Yeah, we can do squares. Or I think what I'll do is I'll just chop it like that. Okay, so with that veg prepped, next thing we want to do is soften this off in a pan. Now we're going to get a little bit of oil in the pan. That should be sufficient. We'll just put that on a low heat, and then into the pot goes the veg. So I'm going to give that about 5 minutes. Let those onions soften, let the celery soften. And then we'll get on to the next stage of this. Okay, we've had a few minutes with the onion and celery and carrots. And what we're going to do now is add this mince. Now this is a 5% fat content mince. I'm going to put it in there and break it up a bit. And again, we just want to let this fry down. We want to let it brown all over. And when it has done that, we shall be on to the next stage. This meal comes together really quickly, by the way. And it is absolutely delicious. The difference between this, I'm sure you already know, but the difference between this and shepherd's pie, it's exactly the same recipe, other than the mince in the shepherd's pie would be lamb mince, and in the cottage pie it is beef mince. Right, I'm going to give that another 5 minutes or so, and then we'll see what we've got. It's had about 5 minutes there. It's all browned up and it's looking good. So the next thing we want to do with this is add some of this beef stock. Now I'm just going to put that in until it comes just over the mince. That should be fine. And then to that we're going to add about quarter tube of this tomato puree. And then we are going to have about a tablespoon of this Worcester sauce, which is a classic in this dish really. Now I want to stir all that together. Smells beautiful. Now with all of that combined nicely, smelling and looking good, I'm going to cover that with the lid and let that simmer for about 20 minutes. Okay, phase 1. Next phase, the potato topping. For the potatoes, as I say, I have about 500 grams of potato here. These are Maris Pipers, and we're just going to get the skin off them. Chop them into little cubes and then boil them down. About 1 inch square cubes, and we're going to pop them in this pan It's a rather large pan that I've got here, but it'll be fine for these potatoes. And with them all chopped, I'm just going to put some pre-boiled water over them. Right, so same thing, these are just going to boil down on the hob, and when they have, we'll put this whole dish together. Right, potatoes have boiled beautifully. They are going back in the pan, and to them I'm going to add this butter. Had time to soften, so that'll go into there really nicely. And I'm just going to put a slug of this double cream in. I think that will do the job. To that, we're going to have the crack of black pepper. We're going to put a pinch of salt in there, and then we're going to mash all that down to a beautiful creamy mash. Delicious. Now there is the option of putting cheese in this as well. Some people do put cheese in. I've seen that in numerous recipes, and choice would be yours. You could mix a little cheese in at this point, or you could grate some on top when the whole thing is ready to go in the oven. For myself, we're just going to have it very plain and simple with this beautiful mashed potato. Okay, now mince mixture has had time to cook. I'm just going to take a little bit of the gravy out of there. There does seem a little bit too much in there for me, so I'm just going to strain some of that off with a ladle. Of course, I'll save this, and if this needs a little bit more gravy when served, we'll have some available. Now to that, I'm going to add just a touch of corn flour. I think this is just a teaspoon of corn flour in some cold water, and this will just thicken the whole thing up really nicely. Yes, Isla. La 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 la, yes. Well, Isla la, yeah. We know your name. This is looking really good to me. We're going to take this out and get it in the tray, get the potato on top, and stick it in the oven. Right, now I have this dish to put it in, oven-proof dish, and what I'm going to do is just ladle that out of there and get it in this dish. That's looking delicious. As I say, you're going to get 4 substantial servings out of this. Unfortunately, I forgot the peas. I was going to put peas in, but I forgot to do it, so we'll have it without peas. Or may have some peas on the side. Right, that's that, looking good. And on top of that, we're going to put our mashed potato. Now, I'm just going to spoon that on. Don't want to push it down too hard. And I do hope I have enough of this. Right, we have that. Now, just add a fork over the top of the mince mixture. That's going to be beautiful. Truth be told, a little bit more potato wouldn't have hurt there, but that is going to be fine as it is. Just take that right up to the sides. Okay, now this is going into an oven at 180 degrees, and it's going to stay there for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I'm just going to keep an eye on it, and I want the top just to brown off just a touch. Not too much, then the whole thing is ready to go. And I'm saying there, if we take that into 4, that's 4 ample servings. Okay, into the oven with it. Okay, and there we have it, one delicious cottage pie. This has been in the oven for about 25 minutes. I did raise it up on the shelf towards the end just to help crisp up the potatoes. Thank you, Isla, thank you very much. And I'm just going to take a taste of that. It's still very hot, straight out of the oven. That is truly delicious. Now, real comfort food this. The potato is done beautifully, just starting to crisp on top. The mince, vegetables, absolutely beautiful. And that really is a meal in itself. If I was serving this as a meal, I would probably add some broccoli in there on the side. We could put some of those peas on that I forgot to put in earlier. Maybe some green beans, something like that. Absolutely delicious. Or just by itself, marvellous. And that is 96 pence a serving. Now, 96 pence a serving, if you had some apple pie after that or something like that, that's going to be a substantial meal for about £1.40. Now, if you've enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more videos like this, very simple, basic cooking in the future, please do consider subscribing to the channel. In the meantime, I'm going to finish off this beautiful cottage pie, and I thank you very much for watching. Do give this a try though, it's beautiful.